Let's address the elephant in the room, which is the China reopening. Is there a likelihood that this isn't fully priced in yet and the benchmark could revisit $100 a barrel sometime this year?
Well, I think that's right. The market is waiting to see the increases in demand coming from the domestic airline travel as well as from traffic congestion data showing that the Chinese drivers getting back into their car and taking to the road. We've seen from the International Energy Agency, they're predicting an all-time record oil demand for 2023, up about 1.9% compared to last year. But about half of that increase is coming from China.
Is there a risk here that China's demand could end up underwhelming and all these bullish forecasts of a rebound and a gap higher could be wrong? And if so, what would be the net effect on pricing?
Well, that is certainly a possibility because consumers around the world have been faced with higher energy and higher food costs, including higher housing costs. So their budgets are really being stretched. And what could really tip the balance is if we saw Europe go into a recession and drag down other parts of the world, impacting on Chinese economy and their economic growth. And that, of course, would negatively impact demand. We've seen in the past significant recessions could really drop the price of oil down to the mid $50 a barrel range.
And I'm sure you haven't taken your eye off the Ukraine war. How much more geopolitical risk and upside risk is there with regard to further sanctioning of Russian energy?
Well, the upcoming on February 5th is when the European Union sanctions on Russian diesel come into play, and Europe had been importing about 700 to 900,000 barrels a day from Russia, and it's unclear where the alternative supply is going to come from, given that China and India are already exporting diesel, so that market is not available to Russia. So we need to see Russia actually sell more into Central and South America, displacing U.S. barrels that can go back into Europe. So I think this is really a big issue coming up in the next week or two to see where alternative supply for Russian refined products is going to come from.